All right, the recipe today is for some mac and cheese or some baked cheesy pasta. Let's get everything going. You have some choices for your pasta. You could do some rotini noodles, which look like little spirals. Another choice would be some bow ties. Or you could even do spaghetti, but break it up into smaller pieces because that works better in a casserole. Or any other kind of pasta that you would like. When it's all done, you can do some mix-ins, like some leftover chicken, some bacon, some ground beef or sausage, broccoli, bell peppers, onions, frozen peas, or whatever else you want to mix in. Whatever you do, make sure all your ingredients are cooked first. You're going to bring a large pot of water to a boil, about 1 gallon of water per pound of pasta that you're doing. You can season the water with about a tablespoon of salt. That's going to add flavor to the water, which will then season your noodles and make those taste good as well. Give those a really good stir for about a minute to make sure nothing is sticking. These will cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, so set your timer. After your pasta has been cooking for a few minutes, give it another stir, and stir again every few minutes to make sure that nothing is sticking. When you're getting close to the end of your cooking time, remove a noodle or two to taste. You want the pasta to be firm yet tender, and that is al dente. Bring your pot of water over to the sink and drain it using a colander or a strainer. Be careful of the steam because that water was just boiling a minute ago. Next, you're going to be working on your sauce. So in a frying pan, you want to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to use a whisk for this part, and you're just going to keep whisking until the butter is all the way melted. Once that butter is melted, you're ready to sprinkle in 2 tablespoons of flour. And then you're going to continue to use that whisk to combine the butter and the flour together and whisk that for about a minute. What you're looking for is the butter to absorb the flour, and it's going to start cooking a little bit because if you don't cook it at all, it's just going to have a raw flour taste or kind of taste like glue. Next, you can slowly add your milk and continue to whisk. You want to keep whisking at this point because otherwise it is going to be lumpy. So keep on whisking to remove those lumps. And then you're going to allow the sauce to thicken. What is going to thicken the sauce is that butter and flour mixture. What that is called is a roux. The roux is what will thicken the milk. So stir it every once in a while, but not constantly, and that milk will get nice and thick. Once it has thickened, reduce the heat to low, and you can start adding your seasonings. You can use salt, pepper, and garlic, or whichever seasonings you like. So just add a little of each and get those whisked in. And then next you're going to add your cheese. You could do 1 cup of cheddar cheese or a half a cup of Parmesan to make it more of an Alfredo sauce. Once you've added the cheese, whisk that up again to make sure everything is melted. And if you haven't already, also make sure that your oven is preheated to 400 degrees. Next, you're going to taste the sauce for seasoning. You want to use a clean tasting spoon and taste to see if it needs any other seasonings. You can add more salt, pepper, and garlic if needed. So this sauce you are going to season to taste. So whatever taste you like is what you're going to have for your sauce. So if you like extra spices, add extra spices. If you like it just traditional, just the salt and pepper, garlic is fine. Taste again with another clean tasting spoon. Always use a clean tasting spoon. Turn off the heat and you are ready to start assembling everything together. So you're going to be combining your cooked pasta with your sauce in a casserole dish or oven-proof container. So use a rubber scraper and scrape out all of your cheese sauce that you made so that it can start getting onto your noodles. Now you can add your optional mix-ins. For this recipe, I chose to do some cooked broccoli and some leftover chicken. So I'm going to keep using that rubber scraper and mix everything up. You want to stir it pretty well so that all of the sauce coats the noodles, the vegetables, and the meat. After you've mixed it all up together, spread it out into an even layer and then decide what you're going to put on top. If you have some extra cheese, you can sprinkle that on top. Just a couple tablespoons. And then you could also do some breadcrumbs to give it a little bit of a crunch on top for a little bit different texture. And this is a baked cheesy pasta, so you might as well add a little bit more cheese. So a little bit of sprinkle of Parmesan. Cheese on top and cheese inside the casserole. Put that in the oven until it's brown and bubbly.